except for the photo etch piece, C17. We have all the plastic parts. And, oh, by the way, I measured this thing here and then I did the math. This thing in real life was 38 feet long. In other words, it's about as long as my house. And yet when you put this thing on the deck of the ship, it just looks like a little box sitting there. However, I wanted to point out some things here. I think I mentioned it yesterday, how some of these parts all look alike, and yet there's just very, very subtle differences. That's why I've kept them all separate here. And I'm going to zoom in on these two pieces right here, J17 and J18. And I'll just give you an example of how there's just a subtle little difference that a person might not notice, and you could easily glue one into the wrong place. When I was nipping these off of the sprue, first thing I thought of was, well, they're both the same. And I flipped them over one way and then the other, and no matter which side you look at, they both look the same. They look like a mirror image to each other, in other words. And then I noticed that the base of this one is kind of shaped like this. You notice? Whereas this one is straight across. This one here is supposed to go in this little, where the roof of the hangar actually sort of makes a little V. And it would be very easy to stick this one over here by mistake. And then once the glue is all set and you realize it, you have to pull it off and make a big mess. And yep, been there, done that. This is the only photo etch piece we need. It is C17. And it's another little ladder. Oh, before I nip it off, you notice right here and right here, there's a place where it has to bend. Well, that's where it has to go over the roof of the hangar. Anyway, you know what? I think I'll do this one first, because I'm going to be blocking your vision, so sorry about that. Okay, I didn't hear it, but I think I got it. I kind of heard that one. And the last one. I kind of heard that one. Now let's see if we can get it up without bending it. Seems to me we bent the last one in the wrong place. This has a natural tendency to want to bend right there. Whoops, came out. Notice how the knife is scratching the plating? This brass is so soft. Okay, we got it. Now, a few minutes ago I was looking at that video scene that we just were looking at, and I was kind of thinking to myself, I wonder how much thinner the metal is right here where they've made it so it will bend easy. And you know, I was thinking I could maybe measure it with my caliper, you know, because the caliper is really thin right there. It might kind of fit into the groove. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I look at it through my microscope? Now I know there's probably some people thinking, oh no, here we go with the microscope again. But you know, this is kind of interesting to me, this kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, naturally I want to get this model done, but as I keep saying, I want to have fun while I'm doing it. Okay, so why don't we just take this, and I'm going to bend it there. Okay, but we'll have it straight here. Okay, so there's one of those indentations right there, and being as it's bent a little bit this way, we should be able to lay it down in such a way that it's going to stay laying on its edge. Come on. There. See, it's laying on its edge right now until I keep poking at it and knock it over. But anyway, right around here somewhere is one of those indentations, and if we look straight down on it, we should be able to get a pretty good idea of, you know, how much thinner is it there. I know. Normally when people think of a microscope, this is what they think of. And this is your basic microscope. Absolutely useless though in a workshop for a hobbyist. However, this one works the best with this, so I gotta use it. Okay. That looks like it's going to work out okay. Now I'm thinking here that in all likelihood I'm going to want to move in a little closer than what you just saw. So when I do that, I'm going to need all the light I can get. And maybe I better move my photo etch here before I damage it. One of these days I'm going to clean this table up. A lot of stuff on here I don't use very often. No use having it in the way. I don't know why I don't clean it up better. Okay, we'll adjust everything after here. Right now it's on, well, if I was looking through the objectives here, it would be 10 power here times 4 here, so that'd be 40 power. But if I crank this around to 40, I would have 400 power. But with the camera, it doesn't really work that way. But if I crank this around, it will give me 4 times closer, because it goes from 4 to 10, or 40 I mean. So, oh wait a minute, it goes from 10 to 40. Now I'm going to make a little change here. I'm noticing that because the background is so dark, it's throwing the exposure off. And I think if I just take this, carefully put it there, and then if I take a little piece of masking tape, put it on my slide. Okay. Now we'll take our ladder and put it on top of the masking tape. Oh, I was wrong about the magnification. I thought I was on my minimum power there. I wasn't. Now it's on its minimum power. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have a tendency to get all wrapped up in a bunch of detail that's really only interesting to me. As the old saying goes, I was trying to tell you more than you wanted to know.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a lot better. Okay, we're on the minimum power right now. I'm going to start recording. Okay, now I'm picking up through the microphone in this camera, and I don't need to be shouting all the time. I'll try not to talk too loud here. Let's move over to wherever the wherever that little joint is. I believe it's in there. It is. Oh no, that's the other one. We want this one here. There it is. Oh wow! I didn't realize it was that that much of a difference. Okay, let's try a stronger. How can you tell this is unrehearsed? Okay, let's move in a little closer now. Well, I don't think it's any use trying to move in any closer than that. I should be able to measure that. Anyway, that's it. Now we know. Now we can all sleep tonight, right? No. Just for the fun of it, let's go one more closer. That's too close. The lens is almost touching it. Okay. Now, as Columbo used to say, just one more thing. What will this look like when we're looking straight down on that little area, which is right there? Well, because the depth of field with a microscope is practically zilch, we can't see we can see the surface of the ladder, but if we want to see the bottom of that V, we have to. Okay, well there's the bottom, and then you can see that the surface is not clear, obviously. Well, like I say, the depth of field with a microscope is zilch. You can either have, one or the other, but you can't have both. At least not with this kind of microscope. One more thing, very quickly. What does it look like when it's folded? Well, it looks like this. Okay, we've got our microscope thing done for another month, I hope. And so do probably a lot of viewers, but anyway, speaking of viewers, one of the viewers made the suggestion, would it be possible to have the doors open on the hangar so that one of the aircraft could be seen? I don't know. We'll take a look in Stefan's book and see, how they were mounted. It could be that, it doesn't seem to show any option here, and I believe that this would be the step that would show the option if you could do that. Okay, now this little piece is supposed to glue on here. At least I'm assuming it's supposed to glue on there. It looks like it if you look at this diagram here. And these look like hinges. Like these will go in here. And then this door here, is it supposed to slide? I'm going to have to do a lot of investigating to see if that can be done or not, but it's a real good idea. I like the idea of having the doors open, at least on one of the hangars. Sort of like we did with the light, one open, one closed. It's a thought. We'll look into it. Let's check out Stefan's book. Okay, here we are on page 147. And this hangar that we were looking at is this one right here. There are many drawings that depict the hangars. This one probably depicts the doors that we were looking at the best. This door goes here. This one goes here. This little piece goes up here. Now, obviously they open up kind of like barn doors. You can see hinges here, okay? Here, I'll move in a little closer. Okay, here again, you can see the hinges. And on this side, what appears to be hinges, and yet it looks like there's some sort of a track across the top to allow this door to slide, which makes a lot more sense, because if you look at the shape of it, how is it going to go back? Yeah, but if this door slides over to here, unless somehow it was to fasten onto this door and then the whole thing swing out, I don't know. But look at the door there. Well, here it is right here. But look at how heavy duty that is. It's almost like a bomb-proof type thing. I don't know. And another thing that was interesting is that apparently there was at least 3 hangars, because at the top of the page here it says hangars number 2 and 3. So I don't know where number 1 is. Anyhow, lots to think about here yet. Okay, here we are on page 317. Hangar number 1 with the port side door open. So this must be hangar number 1, which looks like it could accommodate 2 aircraft. So that's probably across the catapult from these 2 hangars that we're dealing with right now. Yeah, lots of information in this book. You gotta get it. Okay, folks, I think that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.